Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again. And I have today just a quick video of a question I was pondering last night because I went into my vault yesterday and I was looking at this iPhone 5 again. Now this phone was released in 2012 and this was the flagship phone from Apple that year. But beyond just the size of this phone, which now is really tiny, the thing that shocked me the most was the weight. And then I did a little bit of research and said, how much did Apple's flagship phone weigh back in the day? Turns out this iPhone 5 weighs 112 grams. And I was just thinking, that's crazy to think that we are now using phones in this day and age that are almost double the weight of this original iPhone 5. Now, this is one of the most iconic designs that Apple has made, but in terms of just weight, it is also one of the lightest phones that Apple has made. And so it just made me ponder the question, are phones getting too heavy? And so I actually went through and looked at the weights of some of the phones that I have in my possession and some of the phones that I've been recently testing. And it was pretty eye-opening of results. So first we have here the Mi 9T Pro. It's the lightest of the ones I'm going to show you today at 191 grams. So a full 80 grams more than this iPhone 5. But it's not just Android phones that blew up over the years. We also have here the iPhone 8 Plus. This was the typical XL or kind of large iPhone from 2016, 2017, 2018. And this phone weighs 202 grams. I remember when I first picked this up, I was just stunned at how much heavier it was than the previous iPhone 7 Plus or the 6S Plus. And here we have the Mi 10 Pro, Xiaomi's latest flagship phone. And this is a gorgeous device, 6.67-inch display, but it's also pretty hefty at 208 grams. And here we have the recently announced Redmi K30 Pro, and this phone comes in at 218 grams. And at 218 grams, it is quite a big jump in weight from the previous K20 Pro series. And that's another consideration to keep in mind, a full 30 grams more than the previous K20 Pro series. And now we get to the big boys, the Mate 20X 5G, and this is one of the largest phones in the smartphone world, and it comes in at 233 grams with a 7.2-inch display, and it is just a beast of a device, but it's not the heaviest on this list. Here we have it, the heaviest phone that I currently own, the Black Shark 3 Pro. And this Armor Silver Beast tops out at 253 grams. So just think about where we came from, 112 grams. This Black Shark 3 Pro, it is almost 2.5 times the weight of this iPhone 5 right here. And so there you have it, all of these phones from the last couple years, all in that 200 and now 200 plus gram range. And it just made me wonder, why are phones getting so heavy? Well, there are two main reasons for that. And there's one clear difference you can see between this iPhone 5 and these other phones is the display. So when the iPhone 5 was released in 2012, it actually increased the display of the original iPhone from 3.5 to 4 inches. And this was actually a pretty large display at the time. It was not until 2014 when we actually got the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. And this iPhone 6 actually came in at 126 grams. So still a very light device for the time. But the weight did increase. And with each subsequent year, as phone displays got larger, you needed to do something to power those displays. And that was include a larger battery. And unfortunately, because of the realities of battery technology, the only way you can power a phone of this size is to put a larger and larger battery every single time. And now get this, the iPhone 5, when launched, had a 1,440 milliampere battery. Let me repeat that, it had a 1,400 milliampere battery. And we are now seeing phones from K30 Pro to the Mate 20X and the Black Shark 3 Pro with upwards of 4,500 to 5,000 milliampere batteries. That's almost 3 to 4 times larger than the batteries that were in this iPhone 5. And as phones have become the main focal point of our lives, you are just seeing larger and larger displays every time. 7.2 inches would have been considered a tablet back in 2012 when the iPhone 5 was released, and yet we are now seeing it in smartphones, and we'll probably see this trend continue in the coming years. Now, I for one love large screen phones, but they do come at the cost of weight. But because of the reality of battery technology, it is a compromise that we'll just have to make But you know what? Maybe it's a trend that we're okay with. Considering how much we use our phones now for watching Netflix, YouTube, playing games, browsing the web, we use these devices so much that a larger display does have its benefits. And there are definitely benefits to larger displays despite the weight, like keyboard size. I can barely type on this thing now. It is just so tiny, and I can't believe I actually considered this to be the norm once upon a time. And so do I think we're going to see the return of these small form factors of lighter phones to the market? I don't think so. And so the reality is the larger displays on smartphones get, the heavier they will get as well. And that is just a reality of physics. But it seems, considering how much I've gotten used to these larger display phones, the new increased weight and 200 plus gram smartphones are just going to become the norm. And I guess we'll just have to wait for a future when battery tech improves, when display tech improves, that we can get lighter phones with larger displays. We'll have to wait and see, but for now, I guess the 200 plus gram smartphone is the new norm, and I guess I can live with that. But hit me up in the comments. Do you miss the smaller display phones? Do you miss phones that weighed 100, 120 grams? Do you miss those days? Or are you happy with your large display, 200 plus gram beast phones? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for future updates. And yeah, look at that size comparison. It is just incredible how far we have come. So that's it. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.